Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm making a tier list of the Pokemon that have had the best and worst cards. I just found a Scarlet and Violet tier list, so there's a bunch of cards that I'm not, or a bunch of Pokemon that don't really have unique cards. Like there's a bunch of different Squawkabilly forms, and they're not like different cards. And then I guess like Palafin kind of has different cards, but we're just saying Palafin because the cards all go together anyways. And then also there's a bunch of previous evolutions which don't really have interesting cards. I have a few here that I've kept um, Diplin, I believe, is here, and I've also kept. Yeah, I can't find. Oh yeah, here, Diplin, and I've also kept the Wattrel, which I think is like kind of worth talking about. And this is just going to be like a kind of gut video, going off of just what I think. I'm not analyzing things too much. I'm just going to go in order here, starting with Paleontauros. I've made a video talking about like the worst ones. I don't know if we talked about Paleontauros. It's pretty bad. Um, there's three of them. Oh no, there's six of them now. Yeah, there's six, and this one does have different forms. But they are all the same Pokemon, and they're all kind of bad. I think it could be worse, but they're pretty bad. They're like mediocre to bad, big basics, single prizes, which are usually always bad. Blood Ursa Luna, I think is S tier. Blood Ursa Luna EX, I've considered to be one of the best cards in the game for quite a while. It's not a card I play all the time, but his stats are absolutely broken, and so it's a really, really good card. I think it's a pretty underrated card. And then the regular Blood Moon Ursaluna, the fighting one, is okay. It's not a bad card. It's on the better side, certainly of single prize Pokemon, and it's all right. Meowscarada is probably in like C tier. It's S through F, so C is like slightly below average. I mean, not too much to say about it. Meowscarada EX is like a playable EX, I suppose. It's not like competitive playable, but like okay playable. Ceruledge, I think I'd put in the same tier as Meowscarada. I'm not going to be ordering the tiers as well. Ceruledge is a card that's had, I guess, better cards, but I think honestly Meowscarada EX is better than any of the Ceruledge cards. Ceruledge EX, the metal one, might be like solid. They're okay cards, but I haven't like seen anyone play them. And then there's the new Ceruledge, which doesn't seem that good. I guess it's okay, but neither of these are great. I think this is a fair tier. Then we got Quaquaval. I guess I'll put it in the same tier. Quaquaval EX. There's some like okay Quaquavals, but they're ultimately very outclassed. Like there's a draw one, there's the energy acceleration one. The draw one's the new one, and then there's the EX, and they're like kind of okay, kind of funny, but not anything special. Oinkologne EX or Oinkologne has a few cards, right? It's got the EX, which was okay for some time, though it wasn't like that good. It was pretty mediocre. I think it is better than any of these other cards, though. And then it had the single prize Pokemon, which is like a control one, which I think is also okay. So I will actually put it in B tier. It's like not a great card, but I do think it has some stuff. Actually, no, I'll put it in C tier. I'm not exactly sure. It's not great. Oinkologne EX saw some play, but ultimately it wasn't a particularly good card, to be honest. And I wasn't seeing any play. Spidops TX is also gonna go in the C tier, I guess. Oh no, I'll put I don't know. Spite Ops is just such a mediocre card. There's been a few different Spite Opses. They've seen very minor play from like time to time. They could do some funny things. I guess Spite Ops is better than these. It's really not a great card, any of the cards. The Spite Ops X is the main one, and it kind of gets made. I don't know if it gets made fun of, but it's not great. But it's like kind of borderline playable. I feel like it's about as good as Meowscarada EX. I'll pop it in C tier. Low Kicks is pretty bad. I think both the cards are pretty bad. I think they're not. They're pretty bad. It's F tier. I think there's two of them. Obviously, we don't have all the cards. Oh, there's three. Okay. I did not know there was three low kicks. This one is really bad. So also if a card just has like one or two cards, like we'll look at some later ones, they just don't have as many cards. It'll be like it's kind of like average card, I guess. I'm not gonna put like Trapagos in. Oh wait, this Trapagos is supposed to go here. I'm not gonna put Trapagos in like that's Pekron should be there. I'm not going to put Trapghost in like S tier just because Trapghost EX is broken or like a very good card. I might, but I'm not necessarily going to do that. I guess we have a single prize Trapghost now too. Anyways, so this is Palmot. Palmot's pretty bad. It's not like the worst card. Actually, I might move Paleontauros. It's fine. I think Palmot's not great. There's like what an EX and there's a few single prizers. There honestly all the evolutions like look the same, so I don't remember which ones. I didn't remember the name for a second, but yeah, they're not great cards. They're pretty bad cards to be honest. So yeah, D tier feels fine. I could put it in F tier. I think they're a little better. Like there's some kind of potential there or something. I mean, for your treats, like nice. Mousehold is funny meme deck, I guess. Pretty bad, but it is D tier. I'll put it there. Then Doshbun. I think Doshbun. but that is two cards. That is the EX, and it has the this single prizer, which is me to like burn and fire Pokemon or something. Those are very niche. I mean, fire is like really terrible, but I'm not cutting it slack for that. And then the healing one like is kind of solid, I think. Honestly, the healing one's kind of okay. It's not great, but I'll just put it in. I'll put it in C tier. Then Arboliva's been pretty terrible. It has the one that like heals as well. It's kind of like Dash one, but it's a stage 2, and I think it like um. Does it discard the energy? It does not. Okay, it's like kind of interesting, but it's quite bad as well. And then you have Squawkabilly. Squawkabilly is kind of weird. There's been what, two? Um, yeah, there's been two. So the single prizer is obviously not really good at all. The EX is really good. I think I'll put it in A tier. That feels okay. Only one like really good card is gonna hold it down, but it is a very good card. Garganackle, Minecraft Donkey Kong, one of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 9. I've not played it like at all. It's pretty bad. It's D tier. There's some like kind of funny things there, but it's pretty bad. Honestly, I'm gonna switch Paleontauros and Arboliva, I decided. Then we got Armarouge. Armarouge is definitely B tier. It's not great. It's okay, Armarouge. Am I doing this on Dirty? There's a bunch of Armarouges, but most of them are kind of bad. Like this one's good. It's not great. I mean, you could say it's bad. Like if you say cards are either like super competitive or bad, it might be in bad. It's just pretty good card though. But it's not like a great card. And then Armarouge EX is like playable. It adds some value to the Armarouge deck, and then the rest are all bad. So I mean, this one's like it's not that good. I might add a little value in the Armarouge deck if you didn't have the other Armarouge EX, but it's not very good. And then I don't know, this one might be like kind of playable at some point, but it's not that good. So ultimately, I feel like B tier is fair. Definitely better than the C tier ones, but Armarouge is not a great card. Ceruledge, really interesting. Ceruledge EX obviously just dropped. This is at the state of the current Pokemon TCG, and as well as how all the cards have been up to the state of the current Pokemon TCG in Standard, I should say. I think Ceruledge I'll also put in B tier. It's really weird. Like Ceruledge was kind of just the bad one for quite a while, but now we got the new Ceruledge EX, which is really good, and I think I'll put it in B tier. I think Ceruledge EX is better than any of the Armarouges, but also it's brand new. I'm not exactly sure. I feel like B tier feels fine. Bellybolt is really bad. Sorry, Bellybolt fans. Wattrel, I have included here. There is only one good Wattrel, the United Wings Wattrel, and it's okay. Kilowattrel's really bad. I'll just say that right now. But Wattrel is. I'm looking at it like it's not that much worse than these, but it's probably a little worse. The Kilowattrel. Wattrel is I'll put in like C tier. I mean, I guess the United Wings deck is probably better than really almost any of these decks. So any card, like any deck that would be playing any of these, so that's fine. The boss stuff is pretty bad, but there's some like utility stuff there. Don't really remember it very well, but it'll squeak out of F tier. D and F tier, the differences are pretty nominal. But then we have Grafaiai. Grafaiai is also pretty bad. I think there's a new one that what's it do? It's really bad. That's what I know. It does damage based on energy attached to all your points Pokemon, but it's not that much. And you could accelerate energy. Yeah, you could. This is the one that accelerates energy to your points Pokemon. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It was already bad before, and now it's still bad. Then we've got Bramblegast. Bramblegast. That is an EX, right? It does not. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of like a custom card or something. Anyway, so there's two. This one's like kind of funny, but I guess it's still pretty bad. I think this card actually has serious stall deck potential, as it can have like insane HP. It can have, 350 HP or whatever, but it's not a great card. I think I'll put it in D tier though, and it'll escape F tier. Then we have Toedscool. Toedscool's been really impressive so far. There's like there's 8 Toads. Oh no, it's one per one. There's 5. Oh, that's more than I thought though. So most are pretty bad. But these two, the single prize, the ones with abilities are quite good. I think it's a B tier Pokemon. It's not a great Pokemon, but it's okay. You got some solid utility for countering certain things. This one's going to be countering Pokestop and Superior Energy Retrieval and stuff. I don't know. It counters a few things. And then Toedscool EX is going to be. This one's, I think, weaker. I think the single prize Toedscool is probably better, but the Toedscool EX is going to be something that can be used to counter some attacks like, Dragapult EX or whatever. But you do need energy on, but it's probably the best option we have. I can't think of too many others. It's not great, but it is what it is. Then Cloth. Cloth has actually been really solid. I'm gonna put Cloth in. I'll put it in B tier, I guess. Is that like doing it? What are the Cloths? I need to stop like dragging around the tabs too. Okay, so there is this one, which is bad, but this one's like good. It's not great. I was gonna like say A tier, but it's not A tier. Coffee X is also okay. I think it's probably one of the weakest cards in Pidgeot Control. It's not a very good card, but it's not completely terrible either. Adds some value. And then you have Cloth, the attacker, which is quite good. It's honestly a really, really good single prize attacker. Then we have Scovillain. Scovillain is quite bad. It's kind of funny. I really think Scovillain, the cards have been. I like dual type Pokemon. I think that's like kind of fun. But it'll be in D tier. I think there's like some value. I've played against Scovillain EX. Scovillain EX actually might be like it's probably on the level of these C tier cards. It might even be better than a good chunk of them. But also, I'm gonna move Dachshund down. No, I think the EX is okay. But then, oh yeah, no, then Scovillain. No, Scovillain should be C tier because the one Scovillain saw play in Zoroark. It's not that good of a card, but or Pokemon, but it's okay. Rabsca. We got two. We got three, and then this one's okay. Oh wait, no, yeah, this is the one that counters Dragapult. This is like the main Dragapult counter. The Toad is okay though. It's an okay Dragapult counter, but Rabsca's like okay. It's only okay. It's not great, but it can kind of get the job done. I think it'll be a C tier Pokemon. It's definitely probably like the best of any of these C tier cards, but it's not a great card, and the others are obviously pretty terrible. This one's funny, but ultimately probably not really gonna. It doesn't have good payoff and is really hard to use. Espathra, I'm gonna put in B tier. Now I'm gonna put in C tier. I really liked Espathra EX, but it was only good for a pretty short period of time, and then it just is like bad. It's bad against Dragapult, like completely. It's horrible against Dragapult. And then is it horrible? I don't know. Things go really badly, and then it has really low damage, and it's just not great. And then you have the single prize Espathra, which is okay, the like immunity one, but ultimately Espathra, it's got some bad cards as well. So. Oh wow, it's got a bunch of bad cards. So it's the Team Devo one, which is really bad for now. Then we have Tinkaton. You got the EX, got the single prize error. This would probably actually, I'll put it in here. I'd say it's probably on the upper end of C tier. You got, the EX, the single prize here, the big hand thing. It's kind of fun, but whatever. Wugtrio is, I have no idea where to put Wugtrio. I'll put it in D tier, I guess. It's not great. I know some people really love Wugtrio. Shouts to Ember Power who loves Wugtrio, as well as numerous other people. Wugtrio is fun, I guess, but it's pretty terrible. I'm gonna put it in D tier. Bombardier. Bombardier is the really interesting EX, and this card's a pretty cool card. It's an okay card. It's not a great card, but it's an okay card. I think I'll honestly put this in C tier. I think Bombardier is one of the more like it's a solid card. It's a solid card. It's not a great card, but it's okay. I think it'll sneak its way into C tier. Then we got Palafin. Palafin is it's C tier. I wanted to put in B tier, but I think it's C tier. You got some fun cards with it, but it's nothing insane. Vroom, a lot of Pokemon are going to go in C tier. Vroom has some potential. Honestly, a lot of the cards are okay. They're pretty solid, but just outclassed. You got the I should have typed in more letters. You have the EX. Oh no, you have the draw engine. You have the 4-tool EX. This one's pretty bad, but it's kind of funny. You got honestly just a bunch of like okay cards. Nothing amazing here, but some that are all right. And it's all right. Cyclizar is pretty bad. I think this Cyclizar. This is the DLC Cyclizar. This Cyclizar is okay. I guess it has seen some play, but it's not a great card, right? So Cyclizar, is it F tier? Like it has 3 EXs and they're all really bad. No, it has 2 EXs and they're bad. This one I think actually has some potential. It's just like just a random Terra Pokemon, but it's pretty bad. It's got a lot of chances, and they've all swung out pretty badly. I don't think this Cyclizar is keeping it. I'll put it in D tier. It's pretty bad, but I'll keep it at F. Then we got Orthworm. Orthworm's like kind of funny. It's pretty bad. It's not the worst. I guess I'll pop in like C tier. I don't know. Glamora is also C tier. I think Glamora EX is okay. I don't really like it that much, but I know some people like it. Houndstone, I think is this one. It's not great. I'll pop in D tier. Then we got Flamigo, which has it's got the United Wings one. That'll be in what, like C tier with Watchful. Then we got Cetitan. Cetitan is pretty weird. It had one of the better Zoric attackers for a little while. I guess it's like C tier next to Scovillain. And then you got the new one, which I think actually has potential. Beluza, we're just flying through these. Beluza, pretty bad. I guess it's not like the worst, but it's funny. It's a card that I think is a cool card. The one that attacks for 1 if you got no cards in hand, but it's kind of bad. Tatsugiri is really good. Tatsugiri, I guess I'll go Dondozo first. How many of there? Was there one? I only know. There's just. Oh no, there's 3. Oh, okay. These 2 are really bad. But the one's okay. It's not that good though. I think Dondozo's like an okay attacker, but it's pretty sketchy. I guess Dondozo will go in D tier. Feels kind of bad, but I think that's fine. Then you have the Tatsugiri, which I think is what Tatsugiri's obviously has the new one, which is really good. Not this Tatsugiri, this Tatsugiri, the Twilight Massacre. This one's not that new, but it's newer than like the older ones. That's not a very good description. But it's newer than the one with Dondozo, which was the first set of Scarlet and Violet. Or was it? I think it was. Yeah, it was. So this one's a really good card. Or it's a good card. It's not like an amazing card. It's a pretty good card. And the others are kind of bad. I'll put it in B tier. I think B tier seems pretty fair. Annihilate is a fun Pokemon. It's good. It's not that good, but it's like C tier, next to the other stage 2 EXs. Then I'll kind of like group these a little bit. It doesn't matter that much though, does it? Then we have Pele and Clodsire. This one's definitely not the best. I'll put it in D tier. I think there's the poison one. They're all like poison, but there's the ability EX, which is kind of funny. Frigiraf is really interesting. You have this one. This one's like not very good, but kind of funny. But then you have the Frigiraf EX, which is like kind of good, definitely, but it's not that good. I think it's pretty underwhelming. I don't think it has a great spot within the metagame right now, particularly. Not a terrible card, but I'll put it in C tier. That a good card. Definitely like a competitive card, which is something that a lot of these Pokemon can't say. To Dunsparce, we got to Dunsparce to draw. It's a better draw option than Nervuru. I'll put it in B tier. It definitely doesn't feel great in B tier, but it feels okay. These B tier Pokemon are, they're not great. Armrouge seems pretty good. Ceruledge seems really good with the new one, but ultimately I just can't put it that high. Then we have King Gambit. It has what? It had the leadership one, and then it had the strike down. Yeah. So these are like kind of funny. They're not great. What do we have in F tier? I think it's better than the F tier ones, but it's not that much better. Great Tusk we obviously have the mill one. We've had a few others that are like not great. There were 2 EXs, right? Or were there not? I think there was. Oh yeah. There's the EX that's playing Control. Yeah. Okay, now this is coming back to me. Yeah, so it'll be B tier. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think Great Tusk is like a similar level. The single price Great Tusk Mill is a similar caliber deck to like Armrouge. It's not a great deck, despite what its name might suggest, and it's definitely a card that can be teched into Ancient Box as well, and it is pretty solid in Ancient Box, but it's not like that good. It doesn't do that much in it, but it's okay. So B tier seems fine. Definitely not going to put it higher than that. And then Screamtail. There was a Screamtail that sees play in Ancient Box, or that did see a little bit of play. Not that much play, but I did want to mention that. But obviously, you got the Guardy one. There's the EX as well. The EX is kind of bad. But Screamtail, I don't know if I got louder there, but Screamtail is a pretty good attacker in Gardevoir, to say the least. I can't put it in A tier. I can't really justify myself to put it in. It's a card that's carried by Gardevoir EX, just like, it happens to be good because Gardevoir EX. I mean, that's true for a lot of cards. You could say, like, every card's, like, good because of the cards around it. But, it definitely is more so that than other cards are. And also, it's not, like, super good. It's just solid. It arguably is better than really most of the cards or any of the cards represented by the Pokemon in B tier. But I think I'll put it in B tier. I'm gonna put it there. It's Scarpilly is just way better. Scarpilly EX, and yeah, Then I might actually have to move this down. We'll see what else we put in the upper tier. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna move it down. I do think Blood Moon Ursaluna EX is really good, but the other one isn't great. I definitely, I think Blood Moon Ursaluna EX is worse than Scarpilly EX. I feel like putting him in A tier is probably the right play. Then we got Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet had that also had a. No, that didn't have in EX. So maybe I'm thinking of, again, a custom card, or maybe not. This one's, a pretty solid card. Nothing amazing here. It might be a B tier card. A lot of it is with cloth, but it's like kind of playable in Warring Moon, but it's not great. And so I'll put it in C tier. Yeah, C tier, I guess. Doesn't feel great in C tier, but no, that's fine. Flutter Mane, I think, is pretty clearly B tier. Flutter Mane has just had one card for the most of its time, and it's been a good card. It's not been a great card. You could argue it's been a quite good card, but it's a card that's seen a lot of play in a lot of different decks. But Flutter Mane is not. This makes Flutter Mane look like it's insane. Flutter Mane's not an insane card. It's a good card. It's a good card, but it's not that good. The new one's like kind of bad. Only one card. I can't put it on the same tier as the ones above it. We've got Slithering. I can't believe I'm remembering the names of the ancient Pokemon, or maybe I'm not, and I'm just getting them wrong, but confidently. But Slithering, not too much going on here. You got two single prizers, not great. This one's okay. I think it's not that good though, but I think it is okay. Definitely a card that's not terrible. I'll put it in C tier, and that seems completely fine. Sandy Shocks has had two good cards within the was it the Roaring? No, yeah, the Raging Bull there we go. Deck. They're okay cards. I think this one's a solid tech option. This one's ultimately fallen out of favor, but it is a card that is potentially really good in the deck. And so I think Sandy Shock should go in B tier. That seems pretty fair for it. Doesn't do too much on its own, so you could say like, oh, it doesn't deserve to be there, but this seems fine. Then we got Iron Treads. Iron Treads is completely terrible. The cards are not like the worst cards in the game, but also if you're like a future Pokemon and you got EXs, they should be good cards. These are quite bad cards. None of them are particularly good. This one's kind of playable, I guess. This one is quite bad, and this one's also really bad. So ultimately, these cards are, they're quite disappointing. Iron Bundle, what we got? Two. Obviously, we got three. Yeah, I forgot about. I mean, these two are like quite bad. This one's not completely terrible. This one is obviously very good though. The one with the ability. Again, I say it's like kind of the compliment to Flutter Mane. It looks insane. It's better than Flutter Mane. Flutter Mane's good. It's like a counter card and stuff. It does some nice stuff. But Iron Bundle is a good card. The single prize ability one. Is this an A tier card? It's really close for me. It's definitely better than like Flutter Mane, and really probably all the cards in this tier, but it's definitely worse than the cards in A tier. Maybe not. I'll put it in A tier. Iron Hands, Iron Hands EX, really good card. One of the best basic EXs we've seen. It's not the best card. I mean, the single prize is bad as well, but I can't put it in S tier, but it's going in A tier. We got Iron Jugulus. Iron Jugulus has been bad. Oh yeah, we got the new one. This new one's bad. The first one is not good. I guess this one's bad. This one's really bad though. It's the Temple Forces one. So ultimately, gonna have to drop this in F tier. It's not as bad like these two. Actually, no, I'll put it in D tier. I think like it's a little bit better than some of the. It's not like that playable, but it is a fun card. D tier, F tier. I'll put in F. It doesn't really matter. But compared to what it could have been as a future Pokemon, like with all the support it has, it's really disappointing. Iron Moth, is that what it is? Moth has two cards. It's got the new one, which walls ancient Pokemon, which is like super niche within Fire decks, and the other one, which is like kind of fun as this like niche tech option within Fire decks or future decks. But it's not great. It's gonna go in D tier. It could be worse, but it's not very good. Iron Thorns has had two cards. You got the EX and the single prizer. The single prizer is quite bad. It's funny, but it's bad. And then you have the EX, which is obviously really good. Won the World Championships, did a bunch of things. It's been a very good card. I think it's not as good as the cards in A tier, ultimately, though. So I'll put it in B tier. And you could say A tier. I'd be completely fine with that. But B tier seems fine. And then we have Baxcalibur. There was only one Baxcalibur, and that card is good. I guess it's not broken, though. It's B tier. Seems fine. That looks a lot like Iron Thorns. And then you have Goldingo. Goldingo has had, like, three cards. Yeah, we got three Goldingos. Obviously, the EX has been pretty good. The two single prizes haven't been very good. This might be B tier. Look at the other cards in B tier and C tier as well. I think B tier seems pretty. Yeah, no, it's better than Dunsparce. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, most of these are quite bad in C tier. Not like terrible, but if you're playing these decks, they're not great. Then you got Wu Chen. This one, I actually like the new Wu Chen. And what we got three of them. Yeah, we got three. The EX and two others. I think, the EX isn't great. The others are also not great. I think this is a D tier Pokemon, not like completely terrible, but it's not great either. Jim Pow, the EX has been good. It's not been dominant, but it's been pretty good. I think I'll have to drop it in B tier. I can't put it in A tier. I can't put it in C tier. I think it really has to go B tier. Ting Lu as C tier. I think the EX is like, obviously it fell off pretty quickly, and everyone kind of knew that. I think it's like a flawed design, but it was good for a certain period of time. And then now it's bad. The other single prizes they're okay. I mean, we got an insane damage output attacker here with 220 on a single prizer, and the single prize basic, and this one is like a really solid spread attacker, 30 to everything. I kind of ignored certain aspects of those cards to make them sound better than they are, but they are solid cards. We got Chiyu EX being a pretty solid like card, honestly. Like, Chiyu EX is almost definitely better than Tinglu EX. It doesn't really do that much work, but it's a solid card. And this is a solid card in single prize deck or in fire decks. It's not great, but Chewy X has been good. Is this a B tier card? I think it honestly might be. Chewy X has seen a bunch of play. It's been a solid. Honestly, no, it's value in the control decks, which is really what it's getting almost all of its value from. Isn't pretty minimal. Like you just don't use it that often. It's a threat, but it's nothing super special. I'll put it in C tier. Roaring Moon is S tier. You got what, two Roaring Moons, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, two Roaring Moons. The single prizer is good. The EX is really good. It's like about as good as Iron Hands EX, I think. Maybe a little worse, but it's quite good. The single prizer, really good. I think it's been a Pokemon that's seen just two good cards, right? That's something you don't see often, where Pokemon just gets all its cards good. It's something you see with maybe box legendaries like Zacian V or something like that. Even then, Zacian didn't get that many good cards all at once, but Roaring Moon has been, quite loved within a few month period. Yeah, these are back-to-back sets. So yeah, got pretty lucky there. I don't know if it was. I think there might have been a special set between, but that doesn't count for me. Then we have Iron Valiant or Iron Valiant. We got what, three of them? Yeah, we got three. I think the EX is okay. I am gonna put it in C tier. I was a big fan of Iron Valiant EX with the set coming out. I thought it was gonna be really good within like Lost Zone and stuff, and it didn't end up being that good. But whatever, it's not a bad card either. I think C tier. It's not one of the best C tier cards, but it's okay. A lot of them aren't very good, so it's solid. Koraidon, I actually think their new Koraidon is really good. I was going to make a video talking about it and some other things. Of course, you had the Ancient Box Koraidon. I mean, the new one's now going to be an Ancient Box one, I think. I think it's pretty good in that deck, I guess. And then you have this one, though, which actually isn't played in Ancient Box and was only played probably like less than half the time, but it's definitely an okay card. It's the second best Ancient Box attacker. I mean, there's really only one, so it's not like that good, but it's the next best one. I mean, Fluttermane's okay, but the Koraidon, it can be a solid attacker. And then Koraidon EX, that's two are okay. Not great. Like this one still plays Tinglu EX. You could play it apparently. Yeah, I guess you play in Raging Bolt EX before Too Sugar Pine EX came out when it was quite bad, but I think this card is B tier. I think there is some solid stuff going on here. It's not a great card, but I do believe in the new Koraidon a lot, and the Ancient Box one that was played a decent amount. It was certainly an okay card. Miraidon. I need to take a look at the Miraidons we've had. Um, this is tough. It's between A and S tier. I think it will have to put in A tier. It's had quite a few bad cards. They're pretty like mediocre cards. The first one is bad. This one is bad. The EX is obviously very good, but it's not like a completely broken card. The other EX, the Dragon one, is okay. It's a playable card, but it's not great. And you have the Lightning EX, which I think I think this is actually a pretty solid card within Miraidon EX. I actually made a video talking about the new type of Coco EX, and that one's a free retreat Lightning Pokemon. Miraidon EX is similar. Its damage output is ultimately mediocre and not something you're really looking to use, especially in the current metagame, because it's just too short on certain things, and overkill. You'd rather just use a single prizer. So ultimately, it's just a flawed Pokemon, but it is an okay card. The new one is somewhat interesting looking as something like this Mimikyu like Pokemon, but it's pretty sketchy. I can't even like gust it around. It's just not great, but I think A tier feels fine. Walking Wake has had two cards that have been pretty like underwhelming. I'll pop it in D tier. I'm putting a higher bar to these like pseudo legendaries, or they're not pseudo legendaries, but like the ancient future ones. I don't know if they're like um I don't know much about the Iridiums. I know they're just the paradoxal mods, but I don't know if they're how similar they are to ancient future. But it's like it's Suicune, right? So it hasn't been very good. You got the EX, which is mediocre to bad, certainly compared to a lot of the ancient Pokemon, bad. And then it also has the single prizer, which has seen play, but it hasn't seen play due to being good. It's seen play because of it's an ancient Pokemon through your treat with more HP than certain alternative options, but um, yeah, Walking Wake is seen play, but it's not very good. I don't think anyone is going to sit here and say, my favorite Pokemon is card to play is Walking Wake. I think it is actually a cool card with its design, but ultimately it's not very good. Then we got Iron Leaves. The EX has been okay, but not that impressive. It's been a pretty underwhelming card, but it has seen play, so I'll put it in C tier. You got Sinistcha. Sinistcha, very similar ideas to Iron Leaves. It's not really like a tech card, it's a deck. It was actually a pretty solid deck for a little bit, but not great cards, but two solid cards. I could even see it in B tier. What do we have in B tier? I think it's not quite making it in there. We got Okidogi. Okidogi has definitely been the weakest of the three by far of the loyal three. I'll grab Pekka in here too. I think the loyal three deck, which Okidogi was the main attacker of, I guess, was okay. I don't think it's a terrible deck. I might actually get back into the deck. We'll see. But Okidogi EX is not that good. I will put it in C tier though. It's not a terrible card either. Then we have Monkey Dory. I think Monkey Dory. So we had two. We have the single prizer, which is really good. It's not like broken, but it's good. Definitely a solid Pokemon. It's not like amazing. It just happens to have good synergy with certain cards, and it's like it has good stuff going for it, but it is a good card in its own right. It's not as good, I think, as it sees play, but like it looks again kind of like with Flood Rain, it looks like super good, um, or quite good, but it's good and Guardy. Allows you to do some extra damage. It allows you to do a lot of extra damage as opposed to just like 30, which is what it looks like it does. But it's a cool card. Then the EX has been like not very good, but it's not completely terrible either, in my opinion. So two solid cards, definitely an A tier Pokemon. Not gonna be S tier, unfortunately, but it's A tier. Pheasantipity is kind of weird. Pheasantipity EX has been arguably how do I spell this? And it's arguably been the best Pokemon in the game since it's come out, which is pretty crazy. Obviously, that's really good. But I kind of put an S tier. Like the single prize is really bad. I'll put it in A tier. I feel like I can't put it in S tier. And then Pekka is the EX has been a good card. It's been a solid card, and the single prize has been okay. I guess it's not very good. But it's kind of funny. It's honestly, it's like kind of risen up with Cloth some, but I think Pekka is gonna be a B tier Pokemon. I almost want to put it in A, but it's B tier. Then we have the Ogre Ponds. The fire one's obviously really bad. We have what Ogre Ponds do we have? I know we have the EX of each type, and then we just have the grass one, which will actually, I guess, bring the grass one down. I think do I just put them all in B tier? Do I put them all in A tier? I don't know. The water one's B tier. The fighting one is. I'll put these two in A tier, I guess. Team Ogre EX has been quite good. The single prizer is definitely holding it down. I kind of like Squawkabilly EX, but I think it's a solid card. Then you have Archaludon EX, definitely an is it A? I don't know. Archaludon EX is good. The single price Archaludon's pretty good. They're not amazing. They're okay cards. I think they're B tier cards. Then we have Diplin. Diplin's not very good. I mean, there's like the festival lead one, which is okay. It's like C tier, whatever. And then you have Hydrapple EX, which is also C tier. Then you have the actually Diplin might be B tier. Like it's not that good though. It's C tier, fine. The Gouging Filer EX has definitely been on the weaker EXs versus Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt's going to be in B tier. Raging Bolt EX is a good card, but it is partially propped up by the cards around it, like TMS Ogre EX. Obviously, Sod is like a really good card, and it helps the deck a lot. And then it has some issues. It's not a terrible card though by any means. It's definitely a solid card. And then you have the wait, what? There's two of them, I think. Yeah, so there's the single prizer. I could actually see this in A tier. It's pretty close. I'll put it in A tier, and that's fine. And then you have Gouging Fire, which I guess goes in. I'd say the new Gouging Fire is the single prizer is like solid as well, but I think it's B tier. Gouging Fire EX has been like sneakily one of the better like a solid deck since it's come out. It's not been great, but it's been solid. With rotation, it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna get terrible. Iron Boulder is pretty bad. I'll put it in D tier. I think it's kind of playable. You have the single prizer. Oh yeah, this single prizer is like really fun, but it is not very good. And then you have the EX, which is also not very good. It is a weakness hitter, but it's like really sketchy. It's not very good. Then you have the Iron Crown with the EX, and then there's the new metal one. I'll put in C tier. Iron Crown EX is the Heart of Future box, I guess, but Future box isn't that good. Then Terrapagos, it has two cards. I'll put it in B tier, and I'll put it. Yeah, Terrapagos. No, I'll put it in A tier. Terrapagos is really good, but Terrapagos EX, but also it's obviously propped up by a lot of other cards that support it. So it's not a like obviously they're made to support Terrapagos EX in particular, so I'm not going to be like, oh, it wouldn't be good without Noctowl and Double Turbo and Area Zero Underdepths, but it's a card it's a solid attacker, but it's not that good. But anyway, this is my list, my ranking of the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon, F tier Pokemon you can see down there, and the Pokemon that don't count are down here. But there have been some cards that get good cards, but a lot don't. Most of them, what we learned is they don't really get good cards. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all the good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.